Good evening, ladies, as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena. I'm going to do a warrior run here because of these three classes I just played as Hunter, and Priest have done well. In fact, Priest is pretty much, I think, one of my only classes, if not my only class, that I haven't had a crappy run with yet. Warrior, I had a 3-1 run and an 8-1 run, so it's time to rectify that. Well, this sucks. These are all pretty mediocre rares. I don't like Mana Addict in the slightest. We'll take Mana Wraith, although I'm not a particularly big fan of that either. As a warrior, I'm not that big a fan of taking the Farseer, because I've already got the built-in healing, but this Panda, I mean, it's a decent 4-drop. I'd rather it be a 4-5 than a 5-4 most of the time. I'll take the Farseer. It's a 3-3 for 3 with the heal. I can be useful. Now, the Crusader's a great card, but I'm not going to pass on Execute. It's nice to have a thing that, excuse me, that'll kill anything. Inner Rage, however, I'm going to pass on. It's a little bit too technical for my liking. We'll take a nice 5-drop here at the Silverhand Knight. I think the last time I played Warrior, I had no Fiery War Axes, so it's nice to get one this time. And I've got to choose between the Upgrade or the It Master. Never been a huge fan of Upgrade, to be honest. So we'll take the It Master there. And here, Commanding Shout can be useful. The Arcane Golem is nice for some burn potential, but I'm going to grab Sludge Belcher because I'm sick of losing to not having any taunt. Here I have a choice. I could go for the burn potential with the Rocketeer or the Panther. Now, the Panther, what I don't like about it is I'm starting to spike the 3-drops a little bit. But I also hate to take a 6-drop this early, and I already have 2 5s and a 6. That's more than I want. So we'll take the Panther here, although I really would have rather had a 4-drop or a 2-drop. Okay. So I could take a second Execute, which might start to be too much, or a Spectral Knight. Well, the Spectral Knight is spectacular, so I'll take it. I'm not a big fan of this early spike at 5, but that's what's going to happen. Here's an interesting moment. Do you take the Berserker or the Pyromancer? The Pyromancer is better for my curve, but the Berserker is a better card overall. But I've already got a lot of 3s, and I don't want to take another 3. I'm going to trust my instincts and grab the Pyromancer. Although the Berserker is better, I just really don't want that many 4s, or that many 3s. Okay, I'll take Death Bite, which is, I think, just a fantastic card. Core Chronolite is really good as well. It charges, it deals damage, it's just a lot of stuff. And you know what? I'm going to do it, folks. I'm just going to stop hemming and hawing about the Cult Master. That card is ridiculous. And I'm just going to accept the fact that it's ridiculous, and I'm going to take it. So the Dark Iron Dwarf could be useful, but I think I'd rather have the removal here and the card draw, because I currently have no way of drawing cards. So let's do that. And, so Battle Rage could be good, especially in combination with Death's Bite. But, you know, actually, I think Silence is so important nowadays, I'm going to grab the Spellbreaker. Alright, so here we'll take the Commander. I mean, the Crusader and the Whirlwind both have something to recommend, and this is a very tough pick, actually. Whirlwind for removal, and it also works well with Execute. Scarlet Crusader is a solid 3-drop. I'm going to take the Commander, though. I think it adds just the biggest punch to your deck. Okay, here we'll take the Ooze over the mediocre removal and the mediocre 3-drop. We'll take the Heroic Strike for some more burn potential and some removal. Second Death's Bite I'm pretty happy to have. And okay, can I take the Auctioneer? Auctioneer works okay with a few things. I'm really only going to... But the thing is, it's just the other cards are so mediocre here. I really am just not a fan of Upgrade. Granted, it's good, because now I have 3 weapons. Here I have a Fiery War Axe and 2 Death Bites. So Upgrade is likely to have some targets, but there will be times when it comes up and it's just a 1-3 for 1. Or I beef up the weapon, but it makes no difference. We'll take the Auctioneer. Let's go for some more card draw here. Okay. Don't like this set of options, if I'm being totally truthful. The Arcanite Reaper, I'm starting to get a bit too many weapons, and my curve's too high. This is alright, but again, my curve's too high. I don't like playing with 4 5s and a 6. That's not great. But what else do I do? I take Charge? Charge is just not great. It's good for killing off the opponent, but that's it. So I'll take the Elemental, but I really have to stop taking anything so big. Okay, we'll take the best 2-drop in the game. Second Fiery War Axe. Wow, I'm actually considering passing on a Fiery War Axe. I know you can't believe that, but I've already got a Fiery War Axe and 2 Death Spite. That's a fair amount of weapons. With 2 Fiery War Axes, and 2 Death Spite, there might be times where I just end up hitting the opponent in the face so I can clear the way for the next weapon. And it wouldn't be bad to have a Loot Hoarder here for some more card drawing potential. I currently have just like the Slam and the Auctioneer and the Cult Master. And the Bluegill Warrior for some reach potential and removal. But, the Fiery War Axe does the same thing the Warrior does, only better, so I guess it's really just between that or the Loot Hoarder. Alright, we'll take it, but I don't know. There was a piece of my heart that said the Loot Hoarder would have been the more correct play. This is terrible. This is just terrible. I don't want to take the assassin because my curve's already higher than I want it to be. And this thing, I mean, it's just worse than Ascension. It's worse than a Violet Teacher. I'll take it because the Corsair is just unplayable, but I don't like that that happened. Okay, with Execute, Cruel Taskmaster looks good. Cruel Taskmaster is just always great. And it looks like I'm going to get a Loot Hoarder regardless. Now, do I take a second Slam? 2 slams is nice to make sure the Execute has a higher chance of firing. But the Loot Hoarder would be nice for some early drops and card advantage. Let's see, what do I have for early drops? Ooze, Berserker, Taskmaster, Wraith, Pyromancer. I've got a lot of 2 drops already. I don't need this Loot Hoarder. We'll take the Slam for some removal and card drawing potential. Okay, so now that my 2 drops have pretty much been taken care of, we'll add the Wolf Rider here for some more removal / reach. And I actually get a Legendary. I feel like I haven't gotten a Legendary in a while. Sadly, this is a mediocre Legendary. Harrison Jones, eh. It's sort of like a bad Azure Drake. And that some of the time you don't get any cards off of it. My Exon is not that impressive, and the Blood Mage. Well, the Blood Mage at least cycles. And it helps out with what? Nothing? I don't have any cleaves here. All it helps with is Slam. That's it. And Slam's not even a card you necessarily want to have upped with spell damage. Yuck. Well, I'm going to take the Blood Mage just because he cycles and because I do not want a 6-drop. That would put my curve too high. Oh my god, this has just been like the worst pack of rares ever. I didn't want any more 2-drops when I got them. So the Quirky Removal or the Taunt? I'm going to take the Taunt. I don't have that much Taunt in this deck, and it's good to have some Taunt. It's also good to take a 2-drop that's good later in the game. Yikes, I don't think this draft went all that well. There's too many 2-drops here at the end of the day. Also, there were too many bad rare picks. Too many just mediocre rare cards. I got the Sludge Belcher, which is fantastic. And I feel like that's the only good rare I got. I could have taken a Frothing Berserker, and you know what? Early on when I took that Pyromancer over the Berserker, I'll stand by that choice in the moment, but it didn't work out well because I ended up just being flooded with 2-drops, being forced to take 2s. Now, of course, I'd much rather trade that Pyromancer for a Berserker. This deck might just have too weak of a mid-game to win games consistently. I'm not that big a fan of it. Alright, well, C24U. Starting off with a Fiery War Axe, which is always a good feeling. I will mulligan the other stuff because I don't need it. I want 2-drops. This deck has a bajillion, skillion, umpteen, squintillion 2-drops. Cannot find a single one. Alright, fantastic. Got on my endgame here. Okay, well, maybe I should have kept that Wolf Rider to play on turn 3, but I figured with all those 2-drops, I'd find something else to play. Okay, please don't be an Argent Squire or anything dumb. It's a more like Tidehunter, so that is dumb. Well, it's not dumb, but it's annoying because the Fire War Axe doesn't exactly do the job here. Okay, Pyromancer I don't want to play because that'll just die to the Tidehunter. So I will kill the Tidehunter and just bemoan the fact that there's a 1/1 here that doesn't need to be there. Turn 3 is going to suck. I guess I have a turn 4 and a good bunch of 5s here. My opponent has nothing to do. Maybe he's waiting to see if I'll use up my axe. And will I? If I don't, there's a risk that this thing gets buffed and kills my Pyromancer. But I will not use my axe up. I'm willing to risk this getting buffed because I'd rather kill something good with this Fiery War Axe. Well, he's got a Stormforged axe to kill my Pyromancer. Touche. Touche. So now I actually am going to kill the Scout, because if I don't kill the Scout, he can use his Stormforged axe and the Scout to kill my 4-Chron Elite. So we're going to clear his board, leave this at a maddening 3 health. He's overloaded for 1 thanks to Stormforged axe, can only play a 3-mana creature, and I can play a 5-mana creature in response to his 3-mana creature, which is pretty good. So I'm doing okay, doing alright. He's got 6 cards in a thingy, I've got only 5 cards. And he's actually going to kill my 4-Chron Elite with that Bluegill Warrior and the axe. The only thing I've got to show for it is the fact that he is taking some damage. Okay, we're going to grab the Spectral Knight. Can't be hexed, which is good. Could be really difficult for him to kill it when his board's empty. Sad that he has 5 mana now to play his own big thing, but I've got a Silence. This could have been a Battle Rage, and I'm glad it isn't. And next turn I've got options. I mean, I could play the Swordsmith and the Slam, or I could play the Sludge Belcher. He silences it, which isn't that big of a deal. The bigger deal here is the fact that this guy plus the axe will kill my Spectral Knight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually play Sludge Belcher and kill his Spellbreaker. So now I went up a card, killing that Spellbreaker, but he cannot finish off the Spectral Knight with his axe thanks to Mr. Sludge. Even if he hexes the Belcher, he still has to hit it with his axe, and my Spectral Knight gets to go. And in fact, he does have a hex. Okay, so that's unfortunate, but at least he's using up most of his mana. And he loses the last tick of the axe as well. So that's something. Wouldn't mind seeing an Earthen Ring Farseer now to heal this guy back up. That'd be great. He he totems. Gets the 1/1, which is annoying. I was hoping he wouldn't. But could be worse. So we'll do this. And this. I'm gonna hit him in the face. It's a little risk letting him keep this 1/1. I'm hoping it's not gonna be able to do enough damage. If he does buff it and kills off my knight, I'm gonna regret it. But I feel like with my weak hand here, I'd rather take a little bit of a chance and hit some damage on him. Alright, he is gonna buff it, and he is gonna kill my guy, which sucks. So I could have killed that thing before and kept my 4 power dude. Crap. And I get my Farseer too late. Wow, that was actually a huge mistake. If I'd killed his 1/1 totem, he couldn't have killed my guy, and then I could have played the Farseer and healed him. Ah, wow. Little mistakes go a long way. Well, luckily Slam's a good card, so we're going to slam this thing. Trade the Panther in for it. And do I play this Wailing Soul just for the body? I'm going to actually play this. So I'm going to play it first. Kind of sucks that my Master stops making imps. But, whatever. It's a 1/4. And my Swordsmith's going to start to do some work. Yeah, I was hoping it would not be on the Imp, because the Imp's the most fragile creature I have, but whatever, it's fine. So he's got 6 cards, I have 6 cards, he's got a life disadvantage, and I've got a decent amount of burn potential in this deck with 2 Death Spites, another Fiery War Axe, and stuff. So let's see if he can clear my board. He can't, but he can give it up a taunt, but I can silence it. So, alright, looks good. Cult Master. Okay, never mind, I'm not silencing that. We are going to master the cults here. Yes. Definitely. So that boost from the Swordsmith did actually help. And Death's Bite is very good as well. I will actually whip it out right now. So you want to Death's Bite the Smith so that the Wailing Soul takes less damage. Didn't do much damage to him, only 1, but I now actually have card advantage thanks to Mr. Master of the Cults. And the Swordsmith is still putting out work. He's actually in a lot of trouble, my opponent is. I also have a 5/5 with a nice battle cry coming up. One great thing about the Cult Master is, while it's fragile, your opponent has to kill it. So it's just like a magnet for all of his spells, basically. It's almost got like spell taunt. I mean, obviously the opponent can choose to give you cards instead of killing it, but it's usually an unpalatable decision. Usually. Okay, is this the time for the Spellbreaker? I Death Spite, kills the first iteration, now it pops a 1/2. Is that really worth using a Spellbreaker on? I could Spellbreak it, hit him from the face. What is this? 4, 8, 9, 13. Can't kill him, though. Alright, we'll try it. Wait, this is not what I want to do. I'm going to put the Spellbreaker over here. I think. No. Where do I want to put the Spellbreaker? Yeah, I want to put it over there. I'll put it over there. Put the Spellbreaker here. Swing by the Sludge Belcher. And I'm going to actually freeze it. And pass his turn. I'm not going to commit the Death Spite just yet. If he oozes it or something, I'll regret it. But I think if he had an ooze, he would have already played it. Note that I silenced this before freezing it, because if you freeze it and then silence it, the freeze go away. So you have to silence first, then freeze. I've messed that up a couple times in my day. And I've got this 6/5 here, threatening to kill him with this weapon. He's going to have to work pretty hard to not die right now. Lightning Storm is only going to be the beginning. Reincarnate. Wow. Well played. Okay, so he gets that thing back in action. And it even has bonus damage. Does he have he needs a Lightning Storm right now, though. Or else he's totally toast. Oh, he doesn't have it. He's got just a Hex. Well, maybe he still has a Lightning Storm. Is he going to play his last Lightning Storm? That would be a pretty epic turn here. Reincarnate. Nope, no Lightning Storm. So I got a little bit lucky there. But he didn't have anything. He actually killed my frog and gave me a card off Cult Master. Okay, sure. You do that. Now we'll do the following. We're going to Death Spite. Then the Rattle triggers. He gets his thing. But it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling, I guess. I draw more cards. Okay, we're not going to play that. Yeah, so Cult Master is, as they say, a house. I used to be like, oh, I don't know, it's fragile, and if you don't have any minions out, but no, look, if you don't have any minions out, you're going to lose anyway, no matter what card you take, and if you do have, like, even a single minion out, and you get a single card off that Cult Master, if it's a 4/2 for 4, draw a card, like, that's already good enough. And any better than that, it just lets you turn on. What I love about the Cult Master is it lets you turn a small advantage into a giant advantage. Like, it takes, like, a small edge into I win the game now. And I think all along, for a long time, it's not that I didn't know that the Cult Master was a good card. I knew it was great, but it was kind of like I knew that it could be great. I wasn't, like, that excited about taking it, but no, now I'm just like, I'm excited to take the Cult Master, maybe not 2 of them, but definitely 1 of them. I'll take in pretty much any deck I play. Okay, anyway, that's enough jimmy jamming. This is a hand that kind of shows what the problems with this deck are. I mean, yes, I do get to play a 2-drop on turn 1 or a 2-drop on turn 2, but then, you know, those cards kind of start to taper off a little bit. If I don't have good targets for Heroic Strike. What am I doing? This is a fine opening hand. This is a fine hand. I mean, I got the Fiery War Axe for killing things. I got creatures to play if there's something to kill. This is a fine hand. I don't know what I was talking about. But the point is, if I don't draw some bigger stuff, if I keep drawing my 2s, like if I get a few draws in a row that are all like 2s and stuff, I could really fall behind in the mid game, even if I do get my minions out early. This guy's name is David is Great. Yeah, I think, doesn't it make more sense to say David the Great? Like, if your name should be David the Great, because that's who you are. Don't say David is great, unless there's someone else named David, and you think he's so great you're willing to commit your entire name to letting the world know about that fact. Alright, so what do you put out here? I think the Berserker, but I will say that if I didn't have the Fiery War Axe, I would have played the Pyromancer, just to make sure I could kill whatever he played. Since, however, I have the Fiery War Axe, if he now plays something like a 2/3, I can just kill it. He has nothing to play, though. And because of my decision to play the Berserker as opposed to the Pyromancer, I am missing out on a point of damage. That is a fact. But it's good that he had a slow start in response to my super fast one. I had a 2-drop on turn 1 and a 2-drop on turn 2. He had nothing on turn 1 or turn 2, so now he now needs to catch up. And the Cobra doesn't quite get the job done. We have a lot of options here. I could play the Panther and trade the Pyromancer for the Cobra. So I basically changed my Pyromancer into a Panther. Or I could play the Fiery War Axe. Then I'm not using up my mana. So I'm going to do this because I would rather use up more of my mana than keep the Panther on deck. Now, there is a drawback to my decision, which is that next turn I have nothing to do except play the Fiery War Axe and armor up. And if I had played the Fiery War Axe the previous turn, then I'd have the War Axe in my hand ready to kill things. Alright, does he have a 1-drop? I imagine he does, or he wouldn't have played this. He doesn't actually have a 1-drop. Okay. Well, that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and kill this thing. And I don't think it's correct, by the way, to enrage the Berserker. Then it gets opened up to execute and whirlwind. So I don't like being greedy there. So we'll just, I mean, we'll hit him in the face. He had a slow start. There's nothing else to it. He had a really slow start. All he played was a creature. He still has not removed anything that I've done. And now he plays a Stoneskin Gargoyle on turn 5. Oh boy, that is not what you want to be doing on turn 5. That was, I don't know if that was an error, but you don't want to be doing that on turn 5. So it looks like he's saying that was an error because I can enrage the Berserker. But when you're winning this much, there is no reason to risk your Berserker here. We'll just attack with the Panther. Hit him in the face. And think. Is he saving up for a Mind Control tech? Mind Control tech would actually turn the game around if I played another minion right now. If he like stole my Sludge Belcher, or even my Auctioneer, it would really turn the game around. I'm going to risk it though. I'm not going to play around Mind Control tech. So if he has the Mind Control tech, and he'd still have to get lucky stealing the Sludge Belcher. Anything else that he steals I can kill with my weapon. He doesn't have it. He has a Rifleman to shoot my Panther. And a Shield Block to gain life. Oh, that is not the card he wanted to play. He does not want life right now. He wanted the board presence of some sort. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do here is just drop my Frost Elemental. freeze this guy. There's no reason to kill it, really.
I got this.
Swing, 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 and okay, we're getting close to the kill. I've got 5, 8, 10, 12, plus 7 is 19 damage. Not quite the kill if he armors up. So he enrages my guy now. Does he have a whirlwind to finish off these two? No, he's got a storm sucto to do that. Fair enough. Alright. I could auctioneer slam, and the slam won't draw me a card from itself, but it'll draw a card off the auctioneer. I mean, I think that's worth doing. Got another slam, hilarious. Okay, so here we will use the other thingy. Take up my axe, is what I mean. He does not have mind control attack, or he would have played it. And we're threatening lethal now with the creatures, and heroic strike as a backup in case he kills some of my creatures. This was one of those games that I'm sure if I've been on the receiving end of. I definitely have. And it's one of those games where if I'm commenting it, I'm just like, oh, there's nothing I could have done there. Yeah, he just had a super fast start and I had a super slow one. Nothing he could have done. He had no removal except for his dumb dwarves. And we got a nice win. It's nice to get those sometimes. It's also good to know that sometimes I'm on the receiving end of them and sometimes I'm on the winning end of them, and that hopefully will help me keep perspective on the times when I'm on the receiving end and not get too upset about a dumb loss. But, well, who are we kidding? I'm gonna whine and be upset about it no matter what. Alright, worthy opponent. Pa pa pa! Wow, that is an awesome name! Oh my god, I love that name! Pa pa pa! That's the best. Oh, that is it. That is the best name I have ever seen in Hearthstone. That's the best name. There's not been a better name I've ever seen. Oh, wow. I could just say that forever. And the thing is, it's the 3 A's at the end that really do it. If it was just like 2 A's at the end or 1 A, no, it wouldn't have been that great. But because there's 3 A's, you know that that name is Pa Pa Pa! Zombie Chow, god, oh, you had to ruin it. You killed my mood, man. You're killing my mood. Well, we're gonna play the Berserker, which, well, doesn't really work that well against the Chow. I mean, it kind of does. So he runs into my Berserker, he heals up the Chow, and my guy's enraged, it can kill it. It just sucks that this guy's just holding up against a frickin' 1-drop. Zombie Chow is such a swingy card. Sometimes it's just ridiculous that your opponent played a 2/3 for 1 mana, but then other times the drawback actually makes a really big difference. Having played with a lot of Zombie Chows, I've definitely felt the keen pang of knowing that my opponent can gain 5 health whenever he wants. Pa pa pa! Ah, such a good name. I wish I had been clever enough to come up with that name. Okay, here we go. So he's going to use a very tactical Inner Fire. It's a good use of Inner Fire, I'm going to say, because, you know, all it did was give it a +1 attack, which isn't that great in the abstract, but it did what it needed to do, which is it killed my creature and let his creature live. Wow, Zombie Chow was so good. I mean, how many 1-drops have 3 mana? Or 3 health? Not that many. Alright, so Death Bite was a timely top deck. Maybe I should have just played the Panther last turn instead of the Wolf Rider. I don't know. But the Death Bite saves me from any kind of awkward situations. Let's see how good his turn 4 is. I can play this guy on turn 5, which is spectacular, because Priests have a hard time killing 4/4s. And I also get a 2/2 for good measure. And this guy, I mean, this Death Bite will kill a Yeti or a Senjin, which is just ridiculous. He plays another Dark Cultist, which is fine. Dark Cultist is one of those cards that's just not quite as good as I thought it would be. I thought it would be amazing. And the more I see it, the more underwhelmed I am. I've really just never seen it be that awesome. Oh, thank God it was a Death Bite. Why did I play my... Oh my God. Well, that was an error. I should have, of course, done that first and then played these guys. So now they're damaged, which could matter. Wow, that was a pretty bad mistake. That was a noob mistake right there. Got the Slam, which I like. The Slam might help me kill some things and get a card. Looks like he's going to play something big. An Argent Commander. Well, luckily my boo-boo with the Death's Bite doesn't matter too much. I don't think I want to play my other Death's Bite here. We'll just trade the Squire in for the Argent Commander. And play... 2 creatures or 1 creature? I'm going to play 2 creatures. And for those of you still wondering, yes, a stealth creature with taunt does nothing. It does not stop the opponent from attacking you. You can see because the taunty is all faded. Alright, so what's the situation? He's got 5 cards, I've got 5, I'll soon have 6. I've got a board, he doesn't. I've got removal. Let's see what he has. Pa pa pa! You know, it's not fair. His name is so awesome. He really should win every game of Hearthstone that he plays. It's not fair that I'm hoping to beat him. It's just not fair. Alright, so Cult Master, I can trade those in for cards. But if I hit with the Panther first, this thing can actually live. Do I want to cash out the Cult Master right now, though? I don't know if I actually do. If I Death's Bite this thing down to 1, I can't do anything else. I could Death's Bite, Slam, do it that way, keep these creatures alive. So what I really want to do is play a Sludge Belcher. Then I can slam this thing down to 3, but it still kills my Sunfree Protector and my Panther in that case. Do I want to trade the Panther for it? With a slam? Here I am. Tricky situation. It's a very difficult tactical choice. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slam this thing first. See what I get. And okay, instead of Sludge Belcher, we're going to play Cult Master. Get another card. It's risky because he can now kill my Cult Master, and I've only gotten 1 card out of it, but I'm hoping that 1 card is enough. Look, he has 5, I have 6. I'm about to have 7. So he needs to play cards that are much better than mine. I did get the Fiery War Axe. This maybe could have been a Loot Hoarder. Instead, I've got 2 weapons here that I might not be able to use. He Holy Novas, which is his whole turn. There's a Panda, which is going to die. Alright, that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is play Sludge Belcher. Fiery War Axe, kill the Panda, protect my Sunfree Protector. I think it would be a mistake here to throw the Sunfree Protector away, because it's a creature. It might deal 2 damage every turn. It might trade for something else later. I don't think I want to give this thing up. I'm going to Rick Astley this Sunfree Protector. Snapjaw. Wow. This is awkward. This is very awkward, because now I don't want to kill the Cultist, making this a 2/9, but I also don't want to throw things at this to kill it. But I'm going to kill it anyway. So let's Slammy, McJammy. Ooze, okay. We'll hit this thing. Kill it. Swing. Farseer is really, really good. Play the Ooze and armor up. There's some risks. Holy Nova will kill 2 of my creatures. It'll also let the Sludge Belcher die to the Cultist. By not killing the Cultist, he now plays other creatures, and I can't kill the Cultist because I have to kill the other creatures first, or the Cultist buff triggers. There's definitely issues here. Alright, looks like he does actually have something. He's a Northshire Cleric. I see. So he has his own card drawing engine here. I gotta get at this Cleric real soon. Man, if I could get Spellbreaker, that'd be really nice. Spellbreaker would be really, really nice. Please God, not a chance. Alright, well, we'll do what we gotta do, I guess. Going to attack that. Cruelly Taskmast it. Kill the little Ooze. Kill this. Play this guy. Kill this. Kill this. And now, if he has a Holy Nova, I lose the game. Well, I don't lose the game because he's only going to have 1 other card, and we're going to be in a top deck war, but I pretty much lose the game if he has a Holy Nova. I'm just gambling he already played 1. There was a chance for him to play another one. I'm gambling he doesn't have 1. Or Deathwing, for that matter. So no Deathwing, no Holy Nova. Let's count on that. Alright, he's pointing something at a minion. If he's pointing at a minion, that means that he doesn't have Holy Nova. Good, so he's Shadow Madness. He's going to kill 2 of my creatures, but that's better than killing 6 of my creatures, so I'm pretty content with that. And he seems to have a card that can't be played. He did play an Inner Fire earlier, so he might have one of those combo cards. And there's Fiery War Axe, so if I've seen both of them in this game. That means for a fact I would have had like Loot Hoarder if I take it Loot Hoarder instead. And yeah, that would have been nice here, Loot Hoarder. To cycle an extra card, secure my advantage. I'm still vulnerable to him top decking a Holy Nova. I have 4 plus 6 is 10 damage. But there's a problem, of course, which is that he can heal up in the meantime. Alright. So I have 3, 5, 7, 11 damage? And he can't heal himself. 11 damage? I'm gonna go for it.
I got this.
There's a problem with, which is the fact that Death's Bite actually will kill off my Sentry Protector. I'm not in any rush. I'm not going to play the Fiery War Axe in case he top decks an Ooze. There's no reason to play it. I'll have plenty of mana. So I'm threatening lethal. He can kill off 2 of my creatures, but then the Fiery War Axe plus the other creature kills him. Unless, of course, he gets a taunt down. He'd have to top deck it, though, because if he had one, of course, he would have already played it. I don't have any direct damage in this deck. I don't even get any Mortal Strikes. That's a Warrior's weakness. Warriors have very little direct damage. Other than Mortal Strike, they pretty much have nothing. Alright, well, I'm going to just hit him in the face. He hasn't had taunt yet. Playing this, I don't really want to do because if I top deck a spell, I'd like to be able to get a card off of this in case he stops the Fiery War Axe from killing him. He can kill this guy just by burning it and then throwing the Soul Priest at it, so I might as well just hang on to this and see if I can get a card out of it should he have an answer to the Fiery War Axe. He needs taunt or weapon removal. He doesn't have it. Okay, that was a little bit close. If he had another Holy Nova, or if he had been able to stop this weapon, just played a taunt at any point pretty much, he could have won. So I think I started racing too soon. I should have just killed off his Soul Priest and not gone for the race. Because the Soul Priest killed off like 2 more of my creatures. One by burning it with the hero ability, and then one just by attacking itself. So if I just killed it on that one turn, I would have been in better shape. Yeah, I started racing too soon that game. That was too risky. Z. Oh, and yes, and then that guy was pa, so I gave him a chance, but he lost. Alright. I'm tempted to mulligan this Mana Wraith because this deck has so many 2-drops, and this thing is so bad. But I'm not gonna. If I get other 2-drops, then I'll just play those instead. And if I don't, then I'll be like, oh, well, I got the Mana Wraith. Okay, good. So I end up playing the Mana Wraith on turn 1 with the coin because, well, it's risky. If I play it and he kills it, then that sucks. But I can actually play the Pyromancer. Because if I play the Mana Wraith, I can't play the Pyromancer. I'm going to play the Pyromancer. So basically, the Pyromancer, if he passes here and doesn't kill it, or he plays another minion, the Pyromancer is better. But if he was going to just kill it, the Mana Wraith would have been better. Okay, so he plays this. Looks like he's not going to kill the Pyromancer. Good. Both Fire War Axes. God, I wish the other one were a Loot Hoarder. Ah, God. The thing is, it was one of those plays, taking a Loot Hoarder of a Fiery War Axe, where, like, if you're wrong, everyone's going to make fun of you. And not that I care that much what people think, but I care a little bit. And, yeah, I was a little bit embarrassed. Like, what if that turns out to be a terrible decision? However, I should have trusted my gut. Should have trusted it. Apparently, because I've wished this were a Loot Hoarder, the second Fire War Axe were a Loot Hoarder every single time. Okay, so we're going to play the Warsong Commander, putting him in a difficult situation. He's got to kill this thing, or else he's in trouble. Well, he doesn't know that he's in trouble, but... And he's not in that much trouble. I've got a Mana Wraith, so it's not the end of the world, I suppose. Alright, interesting. Wailing Soul is the worst! Oh my god! Oh, wow. So I think it actually would get charged, and then it would silence the other 2 things. But let's think. I could actually slam this thing, kill Mr. Bitey, Fiery War Axe that to that. This thing would be left at 1 health. No, I'd keep the Fiery War Axe then.
What now?
Yeah, I think that's how I want to do it. Okay, so we're going to slam this. Throw the Pyromancer. Well, the Pyromancer will die to swipe or shapeshift, but what if he has better things to do? What if he has better things to do? Now I'm going to trust my instincts. We're going to do this, stop him from playing Druid of the Claw, because of the increased mana cost. Keep the weapon in my hand, and then just see. So the Wailing Soul is just awful. Turns off my Warsong Commander. God. He plays a flesh-eating ghoul on turn 5. That is remarkably unfortunate for him, I suppose. I will kill it. And I can play the Wailing Soul, silencing my Warsong Commander. And I'm going to do it. I hate doing it, but I feel like I have to, because the board presence is worth it. I mean, that's how good a 3/5 for 4 is, that it's worth playing, even though it means turning off your your commander and the mana wraith, so the opponent can now play 6-drops. So it's sad. Is he gonna Starfire that? Well, I'm actually okay with that, because if he's Starfiring it, that means he's not playing minions. Starfire gives him card advantage, but he doesn't need card advantage. He needs board presence. Okay. Now I think we can go for broke. So I'm going to Wolf Rider, War Axe, start hitting him a whole bunch. If he plays an Ironbark, well, he can't. But if he plays anything with Taunt, I have a Silence. God, it's so good to have a Silence. Feels so good. So if he clears my board, this War Axe will nearly kill him. If he actually doesn't shapeshift, I can whip out a Death Spite and kill him. No, I didn't play Death Spite last turn so that I could play a Wolf Rider, which was worth it. And he does actually just try to hold up with the Druid of the Claw, but unfortunately for him, Spellbreaker's a pretty good card. I could have also killed it with Slam, throw these 2 minions, and play the Death Spite, but this was shorter. Can I say well played? I can say well played. Woohoo! Alright, we're going to do one more game, and then I got to get to sleep. So far, well, remember that one time I drafted a warrior deck and then I whined about how I didn't like it because it seemed really bad? And then I won 4 games in a row with it that were like all really, really solid? Yeah, that was a good time. I like that time. Because I just like to show the world how awesome I am at analyzing decks and predicting whether or not they're going to do well. Like the last 2 decks I drafted, the Hunter and the Shaman, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good deck. I mean, it's a little weird, but it's pretty good. I think it's going to go far. 4 wins, both of them. And here I'm at 4-0. Granted, I might lose now. I might lose 3 games in a row, and then it'll be just like my last 2 runs. Only even more embarrassing and pathetic. The Omnivious? That's not a good name. I don't like that name. The Omnivious? What does that even mean? Okay. So, I got early action and then nothing. I will be coining out one of these cards. It just depends on if he gives me something to kill or not on turn 1. I've been lucky. People haven't really been playing much on turn 1 against me, except for that one Jackwagon who played Zombie Chow. The Priest. Oh, yes, it was Pa. He played the Zombie Chow, then interfired it. Tickle my Berserker. Pretty good start. Light's Justice. Okay, well, that's fine. That's not going to kill my Pyromancer. Of course, it does mean if he plays a Recruit, Light's Justice plus the Recruit will kill the Pyromancer. But that's life. So we're going to do this, and see what he's got. The Elven Archer's back there, plus the Light's Justice would kill the Pyromancer. Hopefully he plays a real 2-drop so I can Fiery War Axe it, because the thing is, if he plays a Recruit, I'm going to Fiery War Axe it to preserve my Pyromancer. That's not what I wanted to see. Oh my god, that's just the worst thing. Crap. So I don't want to Fiery War Axe that, because that seems pointless. But I've got nothing else to do. Terrible. So that in conjunction with Light's Justice was just amazingly good. Shit. I'm really unhappy. Now the Cult Master's no good. The Auctioneer's not really any good. I got this terrible expensive hand. He can kill my creature. I've got nothing to do. I'm going to waste my weapon killing a 1/1. Really wish I had a Whirlwind. But the old saying goes, if wishes were horses, all my beggars would ride. Or something. All my beggars? No, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. There we go. Although I prefer the slightly different version of that saying, if beggars were horses, all my wishes would come true. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what's happening. He's got 5 cards to my 5. I guess I'm not that lost. He does have Light's Justice, but I'm going to draw a 6th card. Still, though, as you can see, I've got pretty much nothing to do next turn, which is awkward, especially because my Cruel Taskmaster there. Not much I can do. Okay, plays a Recruit on turn 4, which I'm actually quite thrilled with, because that means he's not playing Ascension, and passes the turn. Wow. Alrighty. I will do a little bit of a technical play. We're going to play Cult Master and then Cruel Taskmaster to heal his Recruit. The idea here is, you know, he uses the weapon to kill the Taskmaster, but I get a card, so the Cult Master, by being here, sort of protecting the Taskmaster's life. Unless, of course, the opponent has a kill, but then again, if he didn't have a kill for the Taskmaster, why is he going to have a kill for the Cultmaster? God, these are two cards whose names are difficult to say. Taskmaster, Cultmaster. Too many friggin' masters. Okay, so anyway, plays a Silverhand Knight. Looks like I am going to get a card off of this guy, which is great. Oh, he's actually going to give me the card right now, which makes sense. I was going to kill a thing of his and get the card that way. So yeah, it makes sense to just do it on his terms. Okay, well, let's think. Well played. I hate doing this. I'm just going to clear his board, even though I lose some card potential with that. I feel like it was better than the alternative. So he's got 6 cards to my 5, soon to be 6. I'm actually okay on cards. I have a 5/5 dropping, which will freeze anything big he plays. What I'm hoping is he doesn't play a taunt. Okay, so Ogre, that's okay. So I can't kill it at the moment, but I can freeze it, ignore it, and then see it. My hope is he has no taunt. Although if he has a taunt, I guess I can silence it. Now I've got 8 damage here. He's down to 11 health. Warsong Commander plus the Mana Wraith. He's down to 9 health. I might be able to burn this guy out. And I am starting to fall a bit behind because he's got that Ogre. So I think that's my game plan. I'm going to try to burn him out. Hopefully there's no taunt, or not so much taunt that I can't silence my way past it. Rabashi Berserker is a little bit disconcerting. Okay, we're going to have to make a very difficult decision here. Because if I race, he is going to kill all my stuff very profitably. I wish I could play this Commander in the Knight, but I can't. Alright, instead of racing, what I'm going to do is, or with the Commander, I'm going to drop a Wraith down. Now I'm going to think. Could kill the Gurubashi by attacking him to him. I could just ignore stuff. I'm going to race. I think I'm behind even if I do the trading, so I need to get him low on health and hope I get some of my death spites in time and he doesn't get any taunts. And again, I've got the silence here. I really want him not to get the justices either, the 6 healing guys, which paladins always seem to get against me when I don't want them to. He hasn't really played any removal this game. So let's see what he can do. He can definitely kill 2 of my creatures. He can kill the 5/5 and the 2/2. I don't know why he didn't kill the 3/2 here. That's a bit of a weird choice. Mind control tech. Oh, he wanted to leave something better to steal, and he steals my best creature. Wow. Well played. So he's still got the Ogre and this thing to attack with. He can actually True Silver Champion. I only am going to have a 2/2 left over to attack with when all is said and done. And he's got a lot of damage on the board, so I need to hurry up and get my removal very quickly. Wailing Soul, you've got to be kidding me. So what I want to do is impossible. Shit. I want to play the Warsong Commander and Wailing Soul and attack, but I can't because that's 9 mana. If I play the Wailing Soul to silence the Mana Wraith, then I can play the Warsong Commander, but then the Wailing Soul won't have charge. So there's nothing I can do about that. I could throw this away, then I can play the Warsong Commander and Wailing Soul, but what's the point of that? I can only play one of my minions. Jesus Christ. I can get him down to 7 this turn, that's it. Well, no, if I throw this thing away, I can get him down to 6. Does it matter if he's at 6? I've actually lost this game. This mind control tech was too good. I couldn't survive him stealing my 5/5. And this Mana Wraith is really hurting my own ass now. God damn it. Well, what I'm going to do then is the most damage that I can. I don't see that I'm going to kill him in time, though. He's got a lot of damage. He's got 10, 16. He's actually got lethal damage. 10, 16, 20, 24. Well, okay, so he doesn't quite have lethal damage. He's 1 damage shy, but if he can get 1 more point of damage, he does just win. And even if he doesn't see that, he can just kill all my stuff, and I can't deal 6 damage to him in one fell swoop. There is only one way that I could win, which is the following. I get a Heroic Strike. I play God's Auctioneer, Heroic Strike for 7 mana. And then I draw a card off the Heroic Strike and get something else that deals damage. But he sees that he has the kill. He's Blessing of Kingsing twice. Wow, that was idiotic! That was idiotic. I should have won that game. But he just all of a sudden came at me with a fury. and that Fury was called Mind Control Attack, stealing my best creature. If it had taken, I'm pretty certain, any of my other creatures, he would have had to attack into the 5/5 with his Boulder Fist Ogre, and then another one of my creatures might have been able to survive. Wait, no, I can't play any more games. I'm done. Oh, I really want to keep playing, but I can't. We're exactly at 45 minutes. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.